Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
All right, if it's just joined us, it's still Enterprise Friday on Enterprise TV. You're welcome back. Miss Amarachi Ugochukwu, a marketing employee of a commercial bank in Ikorodu, Lagos, has committed suicide due to economic hardship in the country. The 32-year-old lady, who was said to have ingested a poisonous substance within the bank premises, entered into her bank branch restroom around 1 p.m., wherein she drank from a bottle of Sniper and was found dead. And a note she left behind the deceased prior to taking her own life said her decision was because, according to her, nothing is working for her. Quote, "My decisions are wrong. My mind is messed up. The future doesn't seem bright at all. I see extreme hardship. I can't bear the pain anymore." End quote. She further went ahead to apologize to her parents and other members of her family. Amarachi, who combines her banking job as a marketer plus being a lady cobbler who makes shoes just to meet up with daily needs, was known to be humble, friendly, and hardworking. Activist Segun Awosanya, popularly known as Segalinks on X, formerly Twitter, said the incident was a cause to continually hold people in power accountable. Quote, "The economy is hard on us all in varying degrees. No one is spared. Even government institutions find it difficult to operate, yet cannot complain despite being demonized unjustly by political opportunists." End quote. Still in the studios with me is Emeka Amadunago. Thank you so very much, sir, for hanging around. So this is on a very sad note. We have just lost a Nigerian, the future of Nigeria, and it's so sad. Now, it's easy for lots of people to blame it on mental health, but I think it's still very important we look at the crux of the matter, as said by Sega Links. You know, we need to still hold those in authority accountable, because mental health would only come when there is a room to breed mental health. Do you agree with that?
Well, mental health generally is underrated in Nigeria. It's sad that a lot of Nigerians are poorly equipped to detect signs when things are not going too okay with somebody, and to take remedies. So too often you see people want to take the person to a church or a mosque or a religious organization where they want to change the person from. Meanwhile, depression, some people are just depressed. And then we unfortunately all affected generally by the economic situation. Banking is one job I never look forward to going into.
Why?
Yes, because I feel banking is a harsh job.
Is it because it's operating in a climate like ours, or is it a general perception, even in the United States, for example?
Generally.
Okay.
You have banks that have failed now all over the world, they have failed all over the world. So banking is a tough job. My father was a banker, and for much of our growing years, we didn't see our father around until he lost his job, in one of the banks, and he said he was done with banking. But decided to go into stockbroking, which he started with initially. The interesting thing was that he started as a nurse. He trained as a nurse, then trained as a stockbroker, read economics at University of Ibadan, and then became a banker. So the interesting thing is this: bankers are put under grueling conditions. The banks give them impossible targets, and you find out that they cannot, many times, they allegedly resort to unorthodox practices to meet up with those targets, unfortunately. So it's sad that a young lady has been lost. Even though we don't have the full details, we can only guess his economic condition because of what she said. She said, my figures are low. So people are guessing, some are saying that could it be that maybe she maybe used the customer's funds? Could it be that she couldn't meet her target? Could it be there are many? I think I hope the report of the investigation will be unraveled and that the bank will come out honestly to tell Nigerians what happened. But it's really unfortunate because her suicide note shows that she had been troubled for some time. It was not just a happenstance. She had been troubled for some time. And then one interesting thing about mental health is that it's not everybody that readily opens up. It's not everybody that readily opens up. There are people I know that you can talk and talk. You may spend the whole day before you can draw them out of their shell. I, at a point, had a relationship with somebody, who had, at the time we met, she was really depressed. It was when she was telling me certain issues she went through in school, that she had to spend more than the number of years she was supposed to spend, and this happened, that happened. So I said, okay, fine, you're out of school. He said, okay, why not go and get a job? Do you know the interesting thing? The relationship at the end of the day scattered. Yes, because I was insisting, get a job so that you put all these things behind you. But the interesting thing was that eventually she realized that what I was saying made sense. Because there was no sense sitting at home lamenting the past. Nobody will give you a gold medal for lamenting your challenges. But I'm happy that eventually she was able to find a career, build a career. Yes, even though we went our separate ways. But what I'm trying to say is that we should find ways of building support groups in our country, building them into our systems, into our structures, our organizations, building support systems into schools, into faith-based organizations. It should not just be about prayer. You should first of all be able to counsel people. Somebody comes to you, I went, I was invited by a bank for an interview. Oh, thank God. Glory be to God. You have got a big job. I will first of all sit you down. Before we start celebrating, sit down. Why do you want to go into this sector? Blah, 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 blah. Yes. What is the attraction? What if the money is no longer there? What if you cannot meet your targets? Have you ever thought of it? Then when I ask you all those questions, it will now spur you into thinking, like the lady I was talking about. I said, what if the people with whom you're staying wake up one day and ask you to leave? Or you've never thought of that? What if they ask you to leave? What if life happens? What if Nigeria happens? What do you do? You see, so it's not just about getting a big job. Have you thought of the fact that you have to wake up? You may have to wake up very early every morning, Monday to Friday, to get to that job. Have you thought of the demands? Have you thought of the environment? Have you thought of certain things? So you let people know that yes, there's a big salary attached to with juicy conditions, but under every rose there is what? A thorn. So think of the other side. So if you can balance it, then I will now tell you congratulations. Not everybody is equipped to deal with life challenges. Not everybody.
All right, so while we talk about building support groups, rendering, counseling sessions, and so on and so forth, I want us to look at it from another direction. There's no doubt, because the reason Ms. Ugochukwu's case is making headline news on newspapers and dailies is because she, works for a commercial bank and so on and so forth. But there are thousands of Nigerians who have died due to loss of issues. And I love us to dwell on this perception, by those in authority who unconsciously have allowed us, lots of Nigerians, settle into what I would call an economic concentration camp, which has led to lots of people losing their lives. A pint of Gari today goes for 2,000 naira. A bag of rice is obviously, not affordable. The price of fuel is up there. Exchange rate is not helping. And all of these things trickle down to the common man who almost has nothing to go back home. And these are some of the remote reasons why some of these people fall to the so-called mental health issues they go into. So let's take a look at it from that angle, on the issue of those in authority, holding them accountable for doing the right thing, so as from that angle we can at least have that stopped before we even start dealing, if in case we have such kind of issues. So does that really make sense in any way?
Yes, you see, yes, we can blame the government from now until the chickens come home. But you know what? Each and every one of us is responsible for how our lives turn out. You are responsible for how your life turns out. I'm responsible for how my life turns out.
Even when the society is not helping you to make that work? Because I know too well, if this lady, all right, had the opportunity of jabbering, for example, I don't think she would be considering this, because the society has a way of turning things around.
Why the lady was the one who assessed the situation, that it was bad. I'm not judging her, but she assessed the situation that it was bad. It was bad enough that she had to take her life in her own estimation. That's why I said each and every one of us is responsible for our lives. Some other people would have looked at it in a different way.
Okay.
Some other people, for instance, look at the woman who got so much money.
Money, yeah.
For saying she had to
in the morning and all that.
do certain things. Simple. She could have easily decided to fight her husband. Destroy things in the home, turn her husband's shirt, maybe gone to the office to, who is that woman that brings food to the office with 2 spoons that wants to snatch? Women have done that now. She could have gone to the office to make a scene and scattered everywhere. But she took it in a different way. And it paid off for her. I believe, for instance, maybe if this lady had used social media, for instance, that, life is not easy for bankers, so that, look at that. It's really difficult for me. Possibly, some people would have got in touch with her that, how can we help you? Maybe privately sent her DMs, to say, what's the problem? How can we help you? And then maybe a solution would have come out. Because Nigerians, even with the economic situation, we show empathy. Nigerians are very kind people. Forget the fact that our leaders, with their careless, reckless economic policies, have made it look like, that ethnic and religious bigotry define us as a people. No,
we do love ourselves.
No, Nigerians are very loving people. Nigerians are very loving people, and I'm sure that if this lady had come out to say, "Look at my problem," people would have come to her aid. And now let me go to the issue of targets by banks. I think banks should try to be more realistic. This idea of operating like sharks, throwing people, into the deep end of the water, whether they survive or not. They're not American Navy SEALs now who are trained to withstand such grueling conditions. That's one. Then secondly, there is a reason why social media has become a very powerful tool globally. And I tell young people, use social media more creatively and constructively. Social media is not for you to be insulting people, calling people names, fighting senseless wars. Use social media to build connections, to build, contacts. Use social media to reach out to people. You don't know who might be of help to you. Yes. Don't always be antagonistic on social media. It's not a tool for antagonism or for fighting. Social, look at the name, social media. Stick to the name. Do you know the interesting thing? Look at that lady who said she had to wake up at 4:50 a.m. Do you know the people who even made all that money come to her? Well, the people who were antagonizing her. Because people were mocking her, some people sympathized with her, came to her aid. I said, okay, you are a graduate. Your husband is a graduate school teacher. Let's show these people mocking you that there are people who can ensure a better life for you. And look at what happened. So, what am I trying to say? Bankers too should try to be more creative. They should be more entrepreneurial. Don't just sit in the comfort of your office and think that money, you are targeting one big man that will bring 1 billion. Let me tell you something. If you break down your target into smaller sizes, join different WhatsApp groups, different groups on Facebook, different groups on Twitter. You go around, you introduce yourself. I am so and so and so and so and so. I look for money as a living. I look for money as a living. So and so and so. Introduce the it's only lawyers that are not allowed to advertise. But you see, lawyers have a way of these days. They have a way of promoting their services.
Themselves. Yeah,
yes.
Very true.
And they are building communities. Yes. Why are bankers not building communities? Why not take the what's it called? Why not take those schemes of your bank, those banking products, and market them to people on social media? Oh, you have a target savings account for children. Why not take it, market to people on social media? That do you know that if you save 5,000 every month for a child, that you can enjoy this. People like to look for value. And when you market value, people rush for it. Yes, I know there are bankers who go out to meet people on the street. It's not enough. Pursue people to their phones. The average Nigerian, his or her phone is the closest thing to him or her.
True.
Pursue them to their phones. Pursue them to their phones. You will see people will patronize your bank. People will patronize your bank. But when you just want to do banking, the old school and all of that, how will people help you? How will you not find yourself in a difficult situation trying to meet your targets? Like somebody once said that if you want to do anything and succeed, go and look for somebody who did it twice and succeeded.
True.
There are people on social media, there are influencers again on social media that could reach out to you and say, look, there's a better way to do this thing. Why not do this? Why not so and so? Look for so and so groups. Look for so and so groups. Maybe look for the leader of look for the leaders of WhatsApp. Look for WhatsApp groups that have a minimum of 50 people, 50 members. See how you can reach out to them. Break down your products, in ways that can be understood. But what do? You see banks. Your bank will send you an email. You don't even understand what it means. They won't break it down. Nobody. You have an account officer who never reaches you, who never sends you Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. They are just so laid back. You see them pack themselves into a car and moving all over the town, burning fuel. When right at your desk, you can actually reach out to potential customers that will rake in billions for you. Do you know there are a lot of Nigerians who are keeping their money at home? Who don't, yes, they unbanked. A lot of Nigerians who don't have bank accounts.
Large pool.
I know people, I don't work in a bank, I don't work in any bank, but I know people are persuaded over the years to go and open bank account. One of them was asking me yesterday that we she need a passport photograph to open a bank account. I know people across different fields. I said, no, I wouldn't like, after patronizing you, then I have to send your money to somebody's account. Give me your own account. I had one account, but because of this and this, I said, go and reactivate that account. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not a banker, but I'm doing the job of bankers.
Okay. So all of this basically would have been done by the commercial bank to have averted the debt.
You see, I'm not saying that that's what caused her death, but we're just having a kind of a glimpse into what may have led to it based on what she wrote. Definitely, from all that she wrote, it shows it was her action was motivated by economic problems. All right. Not just issues. It wasn't boyfriend, girlfriend. Maybe one guy broke her heart, or maybe something or the other. No. Because I mean, it's not too often that you hear that a lady will take her life because of economic. It's usually men you hear that.
Exactly, true.
Mostly women, if a woman goes extreme, it's mainly because maybe one guy broke her heart and blah, 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 and then she wants to end it and all of that. Hey. So, but to see this kind of thing shows that the lady was under serious economic pressure and she didn't really have people around her who were able to spot her situation and help her. Maybe some people tried. It's possible some people tried. I've not got the full story. Maybe some people tried.
But it wasn't good enough. All right, let's go to look at it equally from this angle. You are a parent yourself. And I'd love to know the role of parents in the life of their children. Because we have come to this age and stage in life, with the social media and all of that. You see parents glaringly advocating for their children to go into criminal acts. Yahoo now is now a common thing. You don't know where your child is getting money from. You support such a person because prostitutions and so on and so forth. And sometimes when people who don't have that strength or that moral, to go into that, and there's nobody to equally let them know that life is about, one time you're here, another time you're there, and so on and so forth. So what do you think is the role of parents in helping their children navigate, the obstacles of life?
You see, the home is the bedrock of the society. You find a lot of parents who have become wayward and irresponsible. They want to outsource the upbringing of their children to the schools. And what do you find? The children have nobody to look up to. Then they start looking up to their friends. I remember many years ago, some friends of mine asked me, then it wasn't Yahoo, it was a 419. They asked me to leave journalism and come and join them to do business. They call it business. Do you know they actually even went to see my mom to tell her that, what is your son doing in journalism? My mom told them that, listen, I didn't bring up my children to engage in criminality. And my son is a journalist. He may not be making money, but he's doing well. He's not a criminal. And that's how she dismissed them. But do you know some years ago, the brother, who actually was the main person in that thing, was kidnapped. He was kidnapped. And then they were gathering money for ransoms. I was one of the people they contacted. That please, I should help. They're trying to gather a ransom. The person they said was, in a useless profession, right? Was the person. So that's to tell you that, look, there are no shortcuts to success. One thing people don't realize is that a lot of these things are not sustainable. Prostitution is not sustainable. For how long will you continue to sell your body to men? How long before one disease or the other, or one situation or the other, or old age knocks you out? For how long will you continue to defraud people until EFCC grabs you? Or one thing, look, honesty is still the best policy. So for parents who are encouraging their children along such lines, I pity them. Because it will not end well. They may be enjoying the fruits of such criminal endeavor, but it will not last. Like I tell my children, I say, listen, don't become prisoners to things, possessions. Hey, they say, one of my friends came to school with a smartwatch. I Googled smartwatch. How much do they sell smartwatch? 80,000 naira. I said, I'll put 80,000 naira on your wrist. I said, you should know your father better than that. I wouldn't do that. I won't do that. How will I do that? 80,000 naira that I can put into maybe a mutual fund or an insurance investment or somewhere, or I can convert to foreign currency, dollars or pounds, and put in a domiciliary account for you, or put in somewhere, and then, or that I can build on and use it to buy property in your name. Then I'll put it in your hand, on your wrist. Something that can be stolen, something that can be yanked off your wrist on the way by a thug. I said, I wouldn't do that. So I tell them, don't become prisoners of all these things. Because, is it phones? Since Nigeria launched GSM in 2001, do you know how many brands of phones have become outdated? So for people who are ready to sell their kidneys to buy a phone, are those phones not outdated? So how many kidneys will they sell? For those who go to some of these countries, sell their kidneys. I ask the question, how many kidneys will you sell in a lifetime? You have only 2. And without a kidney, you are dead. So how many? A lot of these things are avoidable. We should not become prisoners of, if I don't, like one musician said, get rich or die trying. Why? Why should I die? Why? The other day I was asking a question. I said, why should the focus be on getting rich instead of living a life of satisfaction?
Worth it.
A life of moderation. Comfort. So that is the thing. Parents should stop pressurizing their children into, go and read this. You must be a doctor. You must be a lawyer. Look, I know a lawyer that left that profession and went into making shoes. Today is a lady, and today she's a big success. I know doctors who left that profession and went into writing. Yes, if you ask of, I don't know if he's a professor now, Professor Wale Okediro, very well-known writer, medical doctor, but well-known more, I think, as a novelist and a writer. And there are many like that. So nobody says you must be a one-track, you must go and read this course if you want to make something in life. Blah. I've been arguing with people on social media who are just so myopic. So put up a video. Don't read some of the following courses. I said, you people are just, what experience do you have in life? How many years, when did you graduate from university that you think you have a right to advise people? Who are you, by the way? Where have you been to? Where have you worked? Who have you associated with? How many people have you groomed in life? I can say I've groomed many people. I've mentored a lot of people. So what can I tell anybody? That listen, I can tell somebody, go and read clapping, BSc clapping, and you make a success out of your life. Yes. There are many things. You see people just come on social media and be throwing out pieces of advice that they know nothing about. Somebody will tell you, don't buy land in the wrong area. It will not appreciate you. I said, show me that wrong area. If I have money, I will buy land there. And let me tell you something, I give you 2 years. People will be rushing to that wrong area. It's as simple as ABC. It's about what is called purpose and repurpose. If one purpose does not work, you repurpose it. It should not be one track. If you are not a banker, then go to university is useless. It's a lie. It's not true. So, you see, we need these guidance counselors in schools to counsel children. I read history. A lot of people are surprised I read history. But I trained myself to be versatile. After graduating, I gave my parents certificates and I went into journalism. And today I'm not regretting it. So what I'm saying is that, you see, people should know that you are responsible for how your life turns out. Look, you can complain from morning till night. You know what? Tinubu will eat breakfast, he will eat lunch, he will eat dinner. You can curse him all you like. You can curse Tinubu from morning till night. Listen, go and find a solution. Find a way out of those challenges. Or talk to people. But taking your life is not an option at all. At all. Taking your life is not an option. Cry out to people. Pray. If you're a religious person, pray. Cry out to people. There will surely be somebody who will be sympathetic and say, what can we do? Let's find a solution to this problem. But don't ever think of taking your life. It is not an option at all.
Exactly.
That young lady, she was the best. I read somewhere she was the best in her class, in her set. She was the best in graduating set. You know, such a beautiful young life. Well, unfortunately, one of the things where I said that banking is one profession I wouldn't even want to, I've never considered this. A friend of mine actually committed suicide some years ago. He had risen in the banking profession. He shot himself in the head. When, I think that was 2014, when there was this currency, or 2015 or 2016, I think 2016 or so, when there was this currency problem in Nigeria. So somebody couldn't get dollar value for money she put in the bank or something. And I think the person got angry, was shouting, always coming to the bank to shout, and this guy went to his church, shot himself in the head. My classmate in secondary school. So look at that kind of a thing. You know, so for me, instead of any job to put me under pressure, I'll just wake up one day, right? I beg to resign. I'll give you back your job and I'll go away. I'm even self-employed, so nobody can be shouting at me, you must this, you must that. Let's try to develop ourselves to be versatile so that we don't find ourselves locked into certain things that unfortunately, you know, we start thinking of extreme ways out of them.
Yeah, exactly. The sad reality is that we've lost a Nigerian, and it's very, very sad. But just like Emeka did say, we are responsible for how our lives turn out, and we can actually make lemonade out of lemon, and that's exactly the truth. But we pray for the reprisal of Ms. Ugochukwu, and fortitude for the family to bear the loss of their daughter. I'd love to say thank you to Emeka Madunago for being part of our show today.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate your time, and we'd love to say equally thank you to you for equally giving us your time today. But please do well to visit our website at www.enterprise.tv news. Like, comment, and follow on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Subscribe to our YouTube channel also at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Gobiga. I'll see you for yet another awesome
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.